Hello, you guys. Welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa. This is your Ready to Love recap, episode 6, and we have season 5, I believe. So let's just get right into things. So, what happened first? It was the gentleman's lounge, and they, of course, start off with Tommy giving them a chat about what's gonna happen in the episode, and they were to meet their second options and have dates with them. So, that's what happened. So, we have Eric and Carmen. Now, we saw in the previous episodes that Eric and Carmen have some type of past relationship or some past working relationship. So I suppose this episode gave them an opportunity to explore it. I see that what happened was he had a bad encounter with the Kia. I don't know what happened, but there was a bad encounter that occurred. It looks as if they went on a date. She leaned in for a kiss and he kissed her. I don't know what happened that caused the issue for the Kia to say in the end that she no longer wants anything with him and doesn't want any interactions with him. I don't know what happened, but my assumption is that it was some unwarranted thing that Eric did to the Kia to turn her completely off. So maybe perhaps it was a mutual kiss, but what ended up happening was it was turning into something she probably didn't want. And so she shut it down. I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate, but that's just my little assumption. Let's get right back into things. We see that Cameron and Eric have some type of connection. They actually really do. He mentioned somebody hovering over him, which prevented him from going and seek Carmen out. It's led me to believe that that person was the Kia. I'm not quite sure, but now he feels comfortable enough to go out on a date with Carmen. They do have some kind of connection there, whether it be sexual, whether it be whatever the case is, but they do have something. Now, people are hating Carmen because they feel as if she's this kind of villain type of individual, and there's this kind of feud between Carmen and the Kia. And to be honest with you, I don't know if that is a genuine thing. I feel like a lot of it is her just playing into this role of the villain. It could possibly just be me knowing how editing works, and they scout out different characters, and I believe Carmen ended up falling into the villain edit, so that's what she's become. I don't think that's who Carmen is. That's why I'm not upset at Carmen or angry at her or feel any ways towards her, because I just feel like she's fallen into the edit of the producers. Now, how she truly is yet to be seen. Perhaps we will see or hear more in the reunion, but for now I'm just not falling for the bait at this point. However, we do see that there is a connection there. Do I feel like Carmen is genuinely into Eric? Not really. What I feel like it is a rivalry, and I feel like she feels like she can get him whenever she wants him, and that's where the problem lies. At this point, I feel like the Kia decided to bow out, so Erica and Carmen are free to be with each other, I suppose. Whatever happened between the Kia and Eric, the only cast members that follow him that I know of, maybe more follow him, but for me, from what I saw, the people that follow Eric is Joy and Clifton. And that's it. And Kina. But Kina got eliminated early on, so she's likely to still follow a lot of people because she wasn't in the drama, because she got eliminated quite early. So I'm just anxious to see what the real story is behind that. I suppose it was a meeting they had out of production's cameras, so it's something that we have to just count on their version of things to really be able to decipher what happened. Then we have Tina and Demetrius. Okay, before we go into Tina and Demetrius, Eric mentioned Carmen now being his top pick, and that confused me because I was like, I thought the Kia was your top pick, but considering they did have the issue, I'm thinking that now Carmen has been placed at the top since the Kia is not gonna work with Eric anymore at this point. So, anyways, let's move on to Tina and Demetrius. And a lot of the women feel like Demetrius is not into any of the women. And later on in the episode, we will come to understand how much of the women actually think that. Tina thought Demetrius was not interested in her because he never even came up to her, tried to get to know her, tried to speak to her, none of that. And it just strikes me as Demetrius is a person that I guess wants people to come to him, or maybe he's the type of person where he knows what he wants and he doesn't go after anything else. But the process like, how should I put it? The process involves you getting to know other people. You know what I mean? So if you just close yourself off and allow people to come to you, or just narrow in on one person, you defeat the process. You defeat the purpose of the process. So I said he pays no attention to the women. I feel like he kissed Sabrina to show Tori who was running the show. Telling Tina she's making assumptions when all one can do is observe people's behavior is ridiculous to me, because he made assumptions too, especially about Precious. He's not into Tina. It's simple as that. He makes it seem like he's open to Tina, but I don't buy it. I feel like he's not interested in her at all. He knows Sabrina wants him and will do anything. So I feel like that's why he's narrowed in on Sabrina, essentially, because he feels as if Sabrina will tolerate a lot of things from him because she likes him so much more than what it appears that he likes of her. Anyways, Donovan, Tina, Sabrina, Dakia. This is a confusing little scene because we got to see Donovan interact with 3 different women. We got to see him interact with Tina, then we got him see the interaction with Sabrina, we see the interaction with Dakia, and it was a lot. Was it Tina, Dakia, and Sabrina? Okay, let's just see. And I said, what's the most chemistry with him? It seemed as if in the end Sabrina and Demetrius had the most chemistry. She mentioned wanting to kiss him after some drinks. So there's definitely like a sexual tension there between them. And maybe something more, who knows? I still feel like she's locked in on Demetrius, even though Demetrius is not putting in any effort. And that just speaks to women. Women just like who they like. Women have lots of standards until they meet the one they really, really want. Then all those talk of standards go out of the window. The person does the bare minimum and maintains their interest, versus another guy that does everything they say they want and they pay him no mind. So that's what it is. It all narrows down to attraction. Who are you most attracted to? Because to be honest with you, a woman would tolerate things from a man that she's attracted to that she wouldn't tolerate from a man that she's not that attracted to. And that's what we're seeing. So that's essentially what I got from all their little date thingies. We learned that Donovan did get a divorce and he has a kid, and of course they bond. Sabrina and him bond on that thing. The Kia and Donovan, I don't quite see the connection there, more so because I don't think he's that attracted to the Kia. If he is, he's not really showing that much interest, like visually, but who knows. We have, well, before we go into that, Serena mentioned that her date with Donovan was her best date. So we're gonna definitely be looking out to see what happens with them further. Ducky and Cliff. So I said the Kia is Cliff's second connection. I thought that was common. Anyways, they definitely have that underlying sexual tension going on. They did the oyster feeding, and you see how the Kia maintained eye contact while slurping that oyster? We can learn a few tips from Mr. Kia. Now, the sexual chemistry is strong with them, and she was trying to make it really clear that beyond the sexual thing, there's really more to her, and she, as opposed to just being this entrepreneur, boss woman, smart, intelligent professional, she's also a person that likes to have a good time, and she's a person that likes thrill seeking and doing all these kinds of things. And that's what Donovan got to see a little bit of that, and Cliff got to see a little bit of that, because prior to that, Cliff is thinking that Kia is just this, what did he refer to her as, this 9 to 5 personality or whatever. I suppose it meant very professional. And it was good to see that she was able to show him different sides of her. But do I still think that he's still locked in on Joy? 100% he is. Although he made it seem as if he's not, like, don't box him in with Joy, but he, regardless of what he says, his actions speak louder, and he's definitely boxed in with Joy. Right, so we have Joy and Paul, the Iguana friendship deep. There's absolutely no chemistry there. She made it abundantly clear that there's nothing sexual or nothing that will be sexual between her and Paul. They're strictly friends. Joy makes it clear that Cliff is who she wants to hone in on and is unapologetic about it. And that was actually quite refreshing to see, because normally when questions like that are asked, people want to say, oh no, I'm open to everybody else, it's just that da, 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 da. But Joy doubled down on that stuff, and she was like, yeah, I kissed him and everybody saw it and I didn't care, that's my number one. You know, that was really refreshing to see, because I feel like because she's not attracted to Paul, she doesn't feel like she has to make to nice things up. It is what it is. I mean, you saw me kiss him, that's where my connection lies. I'm not trying to hide it from you. It is what it is. Okay, if it was somebody she probably liked, she would probably not have said it in that very open and blatant way. But she's not into Paul like that. So Laverne and Ace, he bought us some cream. We got to see a little bit of how Laverne treats Miss Ace. But I must say something about Laverne. I feel like he's being a little bit pretentious. I definitely feel like he's being a little bit fake, because I don't feel like he's interested in this process. I don't know what happened to him, but he's just narrowed. Apparently, his top connection was Joy and Ace, and now his connection is solely Ace, to the point where he's thinking of getting her Christmas gifts. And she's like, well, okay, I guess if you must. It's a bit much too soon, but if you're gonna do it. But Ace is definitely feeling Laverne. You could see that Laverne is more, I guess, caring, more attentive to Laverne, to Ace. And I suppose it's not that he can't do it, he's just selective about it and will only do it for his top 2 connections. But in this process, you kind of have to cast your net in a wider pool than only just 2 people. It sounds crazy, but when you do that, it kind of lets other women feel left out, and they feel like your purpose is not like really necessary, since your connection is only with like 1 or 2 people. It's crazy, but the other women feel left out. And but Laverne is choosing Ace and wants Ace to choose him. Now, to be honest, I don't see Ace having any other connection besides Laverne, so she might as well choose him. They might as well choose each other and get off the show. I feel like Laverne wants to leave the show, and if he could leave with Ace, he would. Do I feel like he's really feeling Ace like that? I'm not really sure. I just feel like he wants to leave with somebody, and Ace happens to be the one that annoys him the least. So that's the one that he wants to go with. I don't know. But anyways, Precious and Tori. I said Tori is going OD since that indirect rejection he got. I just feel like he's layering on that sexual conversation on thick. Now I know he used to do it prior to his rejection because he did it with Joy, talking about rearranging her kidneys. Now he's speaking to Precious, talking about rearranging her organs. I don't know what it is about Tori. I understand the little sexual innuendos and the little flirting and everything like that, but what's up with him wanting to rearrange people's organs? I feel like there has to be a lack of something there for you to always want to boast about maybe your member being big or whatever the case may be. What else is there to Tori than that? You know? And the only place we saw Tori get really deep is when he was speaking to Precious, that first date they had. Other than that, all we're seeing from Tori is how he's gonna rearrange people's organs. Maybe he didn't have that same approach with Ace, but I don't think he's interested in Ace. So I suppose everybody's interested in, he feels the need to tell them that he wants to rearrange their organs, I guess. But to be honest, I just feel like he was doing and saying these things to try to get over the Sabrina situation. I mentioned Precious, and the thing is, it's not that Precious is not sexual, because somebody in the comment section is like, oh, Precious is not as sexual as they made her out to be. That's not true. Like, that's not necessarily the case. What it is that now that it's brought to her attention that the men feel that way about her, she's trying to redirect and change and rearrange that perception of her. So for her to do that, she needs to stay away from conversations about sex. Obviously, that's what she's doing. She's trying to remove and readjust her perception. It doesn't mean that she's not a sexual person, because what we have saw of Precious has been very overtly sexual. It is what it is. But alas, we realize that they both don't see anything with each other romantically. Tori is still caught up on Sabrina, and Precious is not feeling anything with Tori. It's maybe just a sexual thing, maybe just a friendship thing, but nothing romantic. Now, we have the men's lounge. Carmen, we learned, is changing a lot of things with Eric, and I'm thinking it's because they had a bad date. Something happened in that date that has put a bad taste in the Kia's mouth and Eric's mouth, to the point where he's now putting Carmen in the front seat. Only time will tell what really happened, but they're not following each other. The cast apparently, allegedly, is divided on who was wrong and who was right. Joy is still following him, so I'm thinking she either hasn't taken any sides or she's on Eric's side. I don't know. Now, Cliff saw other signs of the Kia that he liked. He saw the side other than the professional side. Laverne thinks he can give people advice, talking about because he's decided to hone in on Laverne, he feels the need to tell the other men to narrow in on their choices. Why? Nobody asked you for your advice. Nobody asked you for your advice, and I feel like if they have found somebody that they want to hone in on, they would. These are grown men. They don't need you telling them what to do. And that's that thing about Laverne, that egotistical thing that he does that people don't like. You know? Now, he talking to Tommy about, oh, they've even looked into the holidays, when he's the one that brought up the holiday gift thing. To me, I didn't see Ace necessarily agreeing to it or wanting to do the same thing with him. So I don't know what he's talking about. He's making it seem like it's a two-sided thing when he's the one pushing that holiday thing. I don't know why he's pushing this thing, but I just feel like it's fake. I just feel like he's pretending. I feel like he's not interested in anyone and he wants to leave the process. That's what I think it is. So Laverne, yeah, not a good look. Demetrius says Sabrina is easy for him. Easy in regards to she's easy to talk to, she's easy to be around, and I guess because she's the easiest one out of the women, that's the one that he's showing interest in. The slightest bit of interest, but interest regardless. Tori is still holding on to Sabrina. Little does he know he's gonna lose, because between Demetrius and Tori, Demetrius is gonna always win unless he messes it up. But he has to mess it up royally for Sabrina to leave him alone. He has to, and even when he does, if he does mess it up, then Sabrina could do one of two things. Sabrina could either go for a second option, Tori, or she can decide that she no longer wants to be a part of the process because her strongest connection messed things up. So even if he does mess things up, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's gonna go straight over to Tori. And that's the thing. Now, Joy, for a lot of men, is in the friend zone. And that's what she gives off. I feel like she purposely puts the people she's not interested in a friend zone. I feel as if she's not seeing anything there, why force anything? Why give false hope when she's not really feeling the people like that? So I agree with her. She feels like she's not about that fake stuff and not playing the game stuff. Who she likes is who she likes. Who she doesn't like is gonna get the friend treatment. I have to respect that. I have to respect that from Joy. Now, Precious is being casted as that same overtly sexual person, and now she and Joy is in the bottom. Okay, I said, why doesn't Tori practice what he preaches about? If somebody shows you that they're not interested or whatever. Sabrina has showed you plenty of times she's not interested in you and you're still hanging on to her. So it's best that you practice what you preach. Or maybe you're blinded by false hope that she's gonna choose you instead of Tori. Come on, like, she's not interested. Now, Sabrina doesn't want Tori. Okay, that's clear. I'm not gonna go into that any further. So Precious and Joy are on the chopping block. Joy is really not into anybody else but Clifton and perhaps Laverne, I think. I'm not sure. Precious is saying that she's not a party girl, and Demetrius is the one spreading the rumors of her being a party girl. Now, do I feel like it's solely Demetrius spreading rumors about her being a party girl? No. Because Paul also had things to say about it as well. So I don't know, but apparently Demetrius is being messy, but that's her perception of things. I'm not sure. Joy is not here for the games. Let me tell you, I loved how Joy was able to just stand firm in whatever choice that she decided to make for that process. I loved how she wasn't like, because you find that in the bubble dates, a lot of the women try to say, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, like they try to soften their approach to kind of for them to get another chance, so to speak. However, Joy was like, no, nothing anybody does at this point is gonna make me interested in anybody else despite my connections that I have so far. And I love that. That was so refreshing to hear. So refreshing to hear, because I'm pretty sure Demetrius was thinking he was gonna hear Joy say, oh, okay, I'm definitely gonna take that in and I'm gonna be more open to other people because that is a part of the... No, she was like, nothing anybody can do right now is gonna make me interested in them. I have my connections, it is what it is, and ain't nobody about to change it. So Demetrius, who kind of put himself in this, was placed in a kind of power position to either send or not send somebody home, was kind of schoolboyed. Like, who you think you talking to about connection? And she flipped it on him and was like, do you actually like anyone here? Bravo! oh my gosh, bravo to Joy. I love that she did that. She was like, you're not gonna like be my judge and juror. Excuse you, are you here for anybody? And Joy is not the only one that feels that way. Precious feels that way too, and probably other women feel that way as well. So like, it's not only Joy. Nobody, even Tina didn't think he was interested in her. So a lot of the women have this consensus, maybe besides Sabrina, that this man is not interested in any of us. And he was barely interested in Sabrina at some point, you know. So Joy was like, Demetrius is a shit starter. And I'm thinking, is he a shit starter? He might be behind the scenes. He might be presenting this type of demeanor in front of the cameras, but might be totally different off camera. And somebody was making mention of Demetrius's Instagram. Now, when they went to his Instagram, they found this to be very suspicious. And what it is that he's only posted professional pictures on his Instagram. There's nothing like that he's just casually hanging out with anybody, laughing with anybody. You know, just like Instagram stories. There's nothing of that sort. It's simply professional pictures. So people have an idea of Demetrius that he just came on the show to boost his platform. And I agree, because he's not shown otherwise. Even though he's shown a little interest in Sabrina, I don't think he's really interested in her either, to be honest. So that was a good question that Joy asked. Talk about shots fired. Shots fired, and I loved it. And I said, is he a producer plant? Is he a producer informant? Because at this point, I don't know what he's doing here. I really don't. We learned that Precious is going home. And Cliff, of course, delivered the news. Not surprised. At the end of the day, they're gonna look for a reason to send you home. And the reason to send Precious home was that she's this party girl. Do I think that she's necessarily a party girl? No. But you realize that when it's your time to go, they're gonna do a compilation of like negative edits to give them a reason to send you home. And that was just what they used to send Precious home. So I'm not surprised. The women's lounge, we speak about. Now, typically, they end the show on that. Like, the people go home and that's it. They play the future scenes, the upcoming scenes. But in this particular episode, what they did was they played the clip of Dakia in the women's lounge talking about the incident she had with Mr. Eric. To the point where she wants no more interaction with him. She no longer wants to date him. I don't even feel like she wants to see him. Neither does she want to even be in the process anymore at this point. So whatever happened, that had to be something extremely uncomfortable and extremely toxic, to the point where you no longer want to interact with that person. So I am very interested in seeing what caused that to happen. Okay, so he's gonna be sitting down with Tommy next episode. We're gonna see from his point of view what happened, and maybe we can get or gauge exactly what took place behind the scenes. But what did he do though? Anyways, you guys, like and subscribe and let me know in the comment section what you think Eric did that caused the Kia to no longer want to date him. Let me know in the comment section. And what else are we missing? Are we missing anything else? I think that's it, you guys. Like, subscribe, as I said before. And see you next time for another review. Bye-bye.